Hey everyone, this is Kris from Predator World Hunting. You are listening to the First Focal Plane podcast with Sean, Kris, and Rooster.
Almost did that twice.
I was just thinking we could just continuously play
I have
our
no audio for
different
you
intros.
again.
Fuck.
Everyone hold on one moment, because you're probably hearing him, but I'm not. Just one sec. Kurt, talk just in case they can hear you. And,
Talk just in case they can hear
we
me.
should be back momentarily.
All right. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Tell me something there, Kurt. Can they hear you?
No, I
can.
hear you. Huh?
Yeah.
You can hear me now.
I can hear you loud and clear.
What
For
the
some
hell?
reason, when we play a video, I lose the audio here. But it doesn't matter. I reset it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the First Focal Plane podcast, episode number 61, where 1, 2, 3, 4, get your body on the floor. Gotta get up, get down. Gotta get up, get down.
You haven't been embarrassed at all yet today, have you?
No.
Congratulations. You should.
Is this my first moment?
I'm thinking so. There.
Oh, if only I knew what that felt like.
Good old humiliation.
That's right. That's right.
Old friend humiliation.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
you
go
know
for
what?
it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that, welcome to episode 61. And instead of doing our usual shtick at the beginning, reading out the sponsor ad reads and that, I think we'll do something a little bit different. I had, how do I say, an opportunity recently to sort of reflect on some things. This past year and a half, almost 2 years, has been really weird, and we're not seeing not seeing a whole bunch of people.
Normal on my end.
Has it now?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I can imagine. But we haven't seen a lot of people that we would normally see, and normally see often. And I personally, for me, especially this year, I'm realistically working 2 full-time jobs, and my mind is on work almost 100% of the time. Even for King of 2 Miles, I didn't do a whole lot of prep, just because I didn't have the time. My mind wasn't in it. My body certainly wasn't in it. And
COVID created a lot of issues, even with you getting your hardware in time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So it turns out that I've kind of forgotten a lot of pretty important people in my life. And I don't imagine I'm alone, but you know what? I got so wrapped up in everything that I was doing, everything that I needed to do. And it almost seemed like I had no room for anything other than work. So, like I said, I was just kind of reminded that, hey, there are other people out here, and maybe you should think about that a little bit. I was reminded kindly. You
go to your room and you think about it.
Almost, yeah. But it was a good thing, because I don't like leaving people out, especially people that are important to me, people that have made a difference in my life, right? Mm-hmm. So I just kind of want to do something a little bit different. Instead of the ad reads, like I wrote down some notes here, because I have to, otherwise things leak out of my head, because it's just plugged full of work stuff. So I'm going to start with EM Precision, just like we usually do. And just want to say that, Steve and Shane have been close personal friends of mine for, oh God, I think it was 2014 we met when those guys were putting on the poker rally shootout in Alberta. my then 13-year-old daughter was shooting with me, and she and I went out, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but Steve and Shane, we just sort of immediately struck up a friendship, and we've been good friends ever since. At least that's the impression that I get, anyway.
They haven't done anything to make you believe otherwise.
Well, that's so far, yeah. So, without
So I
these
shouldn't
guys,
tell you what they were telling me about you the other day.
No, please save that for the end of the show, at least. Please.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll keep living in dream world.
So Steve and Shane at EM Precision Rifles were our first sponsors for this show, and we're extremely grateful for that. Without them doing what they do, they contributed some money to our show, which helps us pay for our StreamYard's
get it off the ground,
subscription and all that kind of stuff, right? A little better equipment and all that. And, without that help, there'd be more money coming out of our pockets to run this. So that's a blessing. Now you think about all the connections that we've made from our association with EM Precision. You look at all the people that they've put us in touch with for to be guests on the show. Things like Sean's rifle build, how Shane reached out to Cadex for the action, IBI barrels for the barrel, of course, MDT for the chassis. Well, you can see that sucker up in the background there. That's the one. Trigger Tech. Shane reached out to all of those guys and asked if they would contribute to a build for Sean. And like, what a fucking gesture that was. Like, who else does that, and who else benefits from stuff like that? I realize there's a lot of sponsored sports people out there that get stuff like this, but I mean, old farm boys from, well, not you, I guess, Chris, but from Saskatchewan. How often does this happen?
I'm an old city boy from Saskatchewan.
Yeah, but you're damn close enough. You're in Saskatchewan. You're pretty.
Am I an honorary farm boy now?
You're well, not yet. I got to get you feeding the cows.
Oh, that's easy. I've fed cows before.
So what I'm getting at is the generosity.
Cows have fed
of these
me
guys.
before too.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, cows feed me all the time.
Oh, aren't they beautiful creatures?
No, they taste good though. All right, carry on. I'm killing your flow.
Just the generosity from these guys. I've had multiple builds done by these guys. I know lots of guys. I've passed lots of my friends on to Steve and Shane, and they've done their builds. It's all been great. It's more than just business when you're dealing with these guys. At least it has been for me, and I believe all the guys that I've sent to them. There was even a time where, back when I got laid off in COVID, because of COVID there for a little bit, and tight money situation. I just happened to burn out my 260 Ackley, and like I was down to a scrappy old 308, and you can imagine what that does to a guy when he's used to good rifles, good precision rifles, and you got to go back to scrappy old factory. I don't
know what that's like.
Well, you
308 is the best rifle I have right now.
Try to imagine.
308 is the best rifle I've ever had. So I'm trying to use my imagination right now.
Right.
This is pretend time for me.
Absolutely.
But I understand what you're saying though.
But these guys, between them and our buddy Jens, took it upon themselves to spin me up a new rifle, in spite of me not being able to pay for it. Like, who the hell does that?
Well, they do.
They do. They take care of people. I'm grateful. Like you wouldn't believe. And I have them to thank for a lot of things. The King of 2 Miles build, the 33XC that they built for me. They built Jens's as well.
Which is a great color, by the way.
You like that, hey? That green,
I
you
really
mean?
like the color. Yes, I really like that. So Jens's rifle is incredible. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's cool. You know, it's like hot blue and stainless steel. And it's hot blue. It is the gun that I've officially shot the furthest with. It was what was it, 1,320 meters?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Well, approximately 1.3 clicks. Yeah.
That's right.
That was with Jens's. And so it's an amazing rifle. But if we're just judging based on color alone, you got his beat hands down.
Oh, you think so? Hey, you know what? I wasn't.
OD green is an awesome color. Dark green, forest green, OD green. I don't care.
It's more green. Like John Deere green.
Fantastic. Even better.
You know what? I'm a green lover myself, but I looked at it and went, can you dye that? But you know what? It's kind of grown on me. And
it looks great.
Yeah, it's a very
you can
nice
tell
rifle.
I like green because my backdrop is a green curtain.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah. Is that a green jacket you're wearing?
No, it's actually, well, I guess it is kind of olive drab. Yeah, it's
olivey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Olivey. Yeah.
That's a greenish.
Olivey on all of me.
I have Ooh, you sound like a commercial.
Try this soap.
All of me. Try this what? Anyway, I've completely sidetracked. You carry on.
Oh, I'm just going on. I guess I really can't say enough about these guys. They've been generous. They've been kind. They've been understanding. They've been supportive. It's just great to have them in our lives. Next, I want to go call out call sign 66. Now, again, these guys really owe us nothing. They don't owe us anything. But I contacted them. I got together with the guys at call sign 66 and a couple of associates of theirs at my range. Oh, what was that? 3 years ago now, 3 years ago. And met Miles and Cappy. I still haven't met Kerry. We've had him on the podcast a couple of times. Still haven't met Nate. But you know what? Just hanging around with those guys is if you care to listen and care to learn, man, they've got a lot of stuff to get, a lot of information to give, a lot of advice, and they're so free with it. It's just not. You weren't there, but it was last summer. They came out and all they wanted to do was shoot, and they made that clear before they came, Miles and Cappy. And so we had a little bit of a sort of a PRS shoot. Just, what was there, 7 or 8 of us or something like that. Just a nice little get together, fun shoot. But you know what? Those guys actually put on a bit of a clinic. And I said to Cappy, like, man, you don't have to do this. You're out here for fun. And I don't want to take advantage of what you guys know and can pass on. You can just shoot if you want. He's like, no, you know what? We're all here to learn, all of us, he said. And if we can teach you something, we feel good about that. So let's just get down to it and do some drills in that. And
so shut up and let me show you something.
Yeah, exactly. So call sign 66 was our second sponsor. Mm-hmm. And that was not an arm twister at all. We made a bit of a proposal to them, and they just went, yep. So call sign 66 and Bolt Action Coffee are the same guys, the same guys that comprise call sign 66.
Same group.
And more or less. And there's the other guys like there's Miles, Cappy, Kerry, Nate, Rob Nibbs is in there as well. Cal Menard, while he's not part of the call sign 66 or Bolt Action Coffee. He's fairly closely associated with those guys, and Cal came out for a wind course that Miles had put on a couple of years ago too. So really thankful for these guys. And again, like I just, all the hours that they've spent actually training us. It's pretty hard to imagine where we would be, especially Jens and I guess, without that instruction from those guys. Like it was night and day, what they did for us from where we were until after they took us through a bunch of stuff. I guess next is Odell Engineering. Phil, Nikki, and Tony. They've as you
Who's
know,
Phil Odell?
Phil Odell, I don't know. He's a pretty smart guy, is who he is.
He is.
Odell Engineering. So they graciously supported our show with equipment to test and review, along with the FD12 shotgun that we raffled off. And it was an FD12, right? I'm getting that right?
It was an FD12. That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not a great shotgun guy.
You are correct, though. So you're obviously not a bad shotgun guy.
Yeah. You know what? Like you think about that, being able to raffle off a damn shotgun and donate the proceeds to CCFR. Like, how do you adequately thank people for doing that? First of all, the people that donated the shotgun, and the people that supported the raffle and gave to the CCFR for that. So big thanks to them. You know what? And
they've actually provided a second one for us to review that we're in process with. So it's not just they were just a one-time sort of thing. Hey, I got an extra shotgun here. They're continuing to try and support the show, and obviously we're trying to continue to reciprocate and make good reviews for them. So,
what the hell is this? Want to become famous? Buy followers, friends, and viewers on bigfollows.com.
It's a bot that has joined us on what is that, on Twitch? We have a Twitch
Fuck off, bot.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself, you algorithmic prick.
Moving on a little bit. You know what? This is more of a personal for me, but it did. Doug supports the show. Doug Wright and his girlfriend Nisa with March Scopes Canada.
March Scopes, yeah.
Oh my God, fantastic people! Like, not only did Doug give me a demonstrator scope, that March Genesis 6-60 by 56, that just wild, amazing scope. For the King of 2 Miles. Unfortunately, I have to give it back. He's not that generous, I suppose.
He's generous, but not that generous.
Yeah, but like, again, who gets to do that? I'm a pretty fortunate boy.
You do.
Not only did he offer that up for my use at King of 2 Miles, he also offered one to Sean. It's what the heck is that? The High Master.
Oh, the High Master, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a 5-42, I think, by 56.
So,
Amazing
yeah.
scope.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the Thigh Master, which is a completely different piece of equipment.
Right. So we gave one to Sean as well. Same agreement to use and display and flog through the summer and test and review.
You flogged yours?
Yes. Not physically, though.
How can I avoid saying that I flogged it? Oh,
no.
Shit. No, I flogged it.
Yes. Well, I showed as many people as I possibly could at King of 2 Miles.
Oh, you flaunted it.
Flaunted? Oh, okay.
You flaunted it. Flogged
Sure.
is like when you hit it with a stick.
Oh, okay.
Because it's been a bad Catholic boy.
Oh, you didn't just do that.
I did not. No, I didn't do that. we should move on
Yeah,
before
we probably
a
should.
certain segment of the population gets upset with us.
So, there's that about Doug, and he joined us for a shoot at Nose Hill Range. The guy just loves the shooting sports, and he's involved in cowboy action shooting. He's involved in some F-class stuff.
And he had a sweet shotgun.
He did have a sweet shotgun. That's a trench gun,
old
right?
trench gun. Yeah.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Steve. Hello, fuckers. Hello, Steve.
Hello, fuckers. Are you going to call him Steve?
Yeah. Well, I
guarantee you, he wasn't here when you were rubbing his rhubarb for the 15 minutes when you were saying what a great guy he is, and then he logs on after you're done talking about him, and he's, hey, fuckers.
Well, you know what? I kind of deserve that anyway. He was one of the guys that kindly reminded me that I've definitely unintentionally left some people out in a few things. So listening to the show out in Moose and Elk Camp. Oh, God bless you, Steve.
Does that mean you got drawn for both? Or
I'm not sure what the deal is in I think he's in open season in Alberta, northern Alberta.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
forgot that not everybody around the world has to get drawn for moose and elk.
I know it, but it is the 18th of September, and I believe
that is correct.
Elk season in the open zones in Saskatchewan opened up on the 15th, I believe. And somebody told me that at work here the other day, and I was like, Jesus Christ, it is the middle of September. They're like, where in the hell did June go?
I'm not reading out loud what Steve just said.
No. Oh, and Steve, don't worry about it. It's water off a duck's back, man. I understand totally. But you know what? I did need to be reminded. If you go back to the start of the show, Steve, you'll
cry
get into it a little bit.
You'll get misty.
Yeah,
you'll get a little bit misty-eyed.
Yeah,
but they do have a moose down, he says, and that's good. Now they're working on the elk.
Oh, that is awesome. Good for you guys.
Got a couple of 100 pounds of meat.
Excellent. Okay. All right. You know what? Scott, Rick, and Ken at Bullseye North. Ken was on our show, and Ken has since moved on to Vortex Optics.
Yep. I got to talk to him. We'll tell you about that later.
Oh, okay. Let's do that.
You keep talking, and I'll do show and tell.
Okay. So, ever since the episode with Ken. Hello. Oh,
is it going to focus? Can you see how it's all scratched to shit on?
Oh, how did you manage that?
The wind literally picked it up off the ground today at Maple Seed, literally like a foot and a half in the air. So it picked up the mat and it was sitting on the mat, about a foot and a half in the air, and then upended it about a foot and a half in the air and just slammed it right back down onto the concrete.
And how did it shoot
first? Not well.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I think it broke the scope. So.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, crap.
And that's a brand new Vortex Venom.
Good scope.
Yeah,
otherwise.
I've had that. Oh, it's a great scope, man. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I've had it for like 3 months only.
Right.
And the fucking, we had gusts out there at Maple Seed today. I swear the gusts were like 80 kilometers an hour or close to it.
Right.
Not constant, but the gusts were. And this, so I was loaning that rifle to my buddy who was doing a Maple Seed today. He safeties the rifle, puts it down on top of the mat, and he even had a 4x4 on top of the back of the mat to try and weigh it down.
Right.
And this gust comes and just like magic carpet rides the friggin' mat up into the air. And then it literally is just like, it's like it picked it up. And then the mat was like, no, I don't want to go for a flight. And so the wind said, oh, well, fuck you then. And just upended it and right on top of the scope. It was just fucking ridiculous.
Jens says that Ken was shooting King of 2 Mile with that 7-300 mag.
Ken Thiessen was?
Yeah. With a Venom. I don't think it was a Venom. I thought Shane said it was
Diamondback?
Strike Fire? No, not a Strike Fire.
No, it wouldn't have been a Strike Fire.
No. Okay, it might have been a Venom. I thought Shane said something different, but apparently he took the scope with the greatest elevation travel, whichever scope that was, and it wasn't.
I know the
Razor.
Venom has 85 MOA travel. I don't know if that's the greatest in their lineup.
No.
Actually, I know it's not, because the Razor HD has 120.
That much. Okay.
Yeah. I think that, I should look that up now.
Wow. It doesn't matter. But anyway.
Yeah. You keep talking, I'll look it up.
You know what? Just thanks to Ken, thanks to Bullseye North. Both Kris and I bought the 6-24 Venoms from there. We bought ammunition from there. I bought a couple of sets of dies from there. And I bought my M&P 9 from there.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been very supportive for us, and
I have
give us great prices.
I have so I've got from them the Sig Cross, an MRA Maverick. That's not their fault. A multiple scopes, like multiple vortex scopes.
Oh, is that right?
So I got my Strike Eagle 1-8 from them. I got my Venom that I just showed everybody from them. I got a Crossfire 2 from them. I think something tells me that I had gotten another scope from them as well, but now I can't remember.
Right. Yeah.
I got my 180C from them, the WK 180C from them.
Okay.
I would love to get an RDB from them, but that's not their fault either.
Jesus, here you go.
That's not their fault either. But yeah, no, I love working with those guys. Honestly, even before I was on the show.
Yeah.
In fact, that's probably why I've taken advantage of our relationship with them so much, because I loved working with them before I was even on the show. Right. And by the way, the Razor HD is the one with 125 MOA elevation adjustment.
Well, all I know, and Jens may very well be right that it was the Venom, but all I know is it was not a Razor.
It was not a Razor.
Yeah. And he hit the cold bore shot on day one. That I think only one other person did.
Really?
Yeah. Out of the whole
At what distance?
Oh, Jens, help me out here. I think it was 1,500 and something meters.
That ain't half bad.
It's pretty damn good.
I'll tell you what, man, for a sub $1,000 scope, that Venom is absolutely incredible. Yep. Absolutely incredible.
Not bad at all.
5-25, 56 mil objective lens.
Right.
85 MOA of travel, which is there's nothing to sneeze at. Like, obviously there's better, but you're getting way into the $1,000 plus scopes to get more MOA travel. It probably has the most for a sub $1,000 scope. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't.
It's a 34 mil tube too, isn't it? Not a 30.
34 mil tube.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's first focal plane reticle.
Have scopes changed? Hey.
I know, right?
Not too long. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all for sub $1,000.
Yeah.
Now, what it does not like is being thrown on the pavement from 1.5 feet in the air. And Jens says that cold bore shot was 1,511 meters.
Yeah.
Just over 1.5 kilometers. That's pretty good.
That's excellent, man.
So not only is Ken a great person, he's a great shooter too.
He is. Damn right he is. You bet. You know what? Next, Duncan Horner. He's friends with the Call Sign 66 guys as well, or the Both Action Coffee guys as well. And you know what? Duncan developed our website, so we owe a debt of gratitude to him as well. He built our website for us.
And ffpp.ca.
That's right. He redesigned our logo. And he actually had the patience and fortitude to do it all gratis. You know, he donated his time to do that. Like, again, how lucky are we? So thank you, Duncan. Very much appreciated. You know what? On to Oscar and Brad at the Nose Hill Gun Range, Gun Club, whatever. Those guys are devout.
They make good goose.
They do, actually. Yeah. What was it? Goose jerky? Yeah.
They had both jerky and sausage, but the sausage was mixed goose and other assorted waterfowl.
Mud hen.
Yeah, exactly. As long as it wasn't rats or cats or something else, I'm good.
You know what? Talk about great hosts, hey?
Yeah, incredible.
That weekend was fantastic. And we've had others like it. And you know what? Both Oscar and Brad have been out to my range as well. They just love the shooting sports. And I don't know, as far as I can tell, we'll do almost anything for it. And what a wealth of information, both of those guys.
Yeah,
there's
both
hardly
very
a gun out
shooters,
there. Hardly a gun out there that they don't know something about. And you know what? Oscar is the prime reason I actually finally got a shotgun. Not the shotgun that he encouraged me to get. But
you're talking about that 870?
That's right. Yeah.
He's
not a fan of the
furniture on it.
That's right. Yeah. But goddamn.
So basically, you're saying that he knows so much about guns and he's so knowledgeable and great with guns that you didn't take his advice.
No, don't you spin things like that.
I'm sure you've taken his advice on other things.
You know what? Budget had a big play in that one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know what? A guy who's as well versed in shotguns as Oscar is. Of course, he's going to have some tastes and experiences that sort of put him in the next bracket above what I was comfortable with at the time. So it's all good. Oscar, someday I'll get there, buddy.
Don't feel bad. I did something similar when I was first starting out. I asked a guy once who was a very experienced military sniper, a master sniper instructor, and I asked him, what should I get for my first rifle? And without hesitation, he said, get a PGW Coyote. You want 308? Get a Coyote. And I was like, a Coyote, huh? So instead of buying a multiple thousands of dollars Coyote, I bought a Remington 700.
Yeah.
I did very much the same thing that you did, only you did it with shotguns.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, Oscar.
Well, you know what? Deep down inside, even though he gives us a poke every time about stuff like that, I think he does understand.
Yeah. Well, everybody understands, the limitations of budget, right?
Yeah.
They pretend that they don't. They say, "Oh, just remortgage your house." Yeah, you remortgage your house, motherfucker, and then we'll talk.
Yeah. You know how much time I spend away from my damn family to go buy an 870. just to buy the $450 shotgun. Right. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a bit tired of it.
I'm sure they aren't selling for that anymore.
No. But anyway, there's a lot of value in those guys, and the friendship there too is great. And listen, you get criticism from the budget will balance itself. So true, Yancy. Sorry, I did forget about that. Yeah, I've yet to achieve that.
I'm just waiting for my what's it called, my CO2 check to come back to me. What's that called?
Right.
What the hell does he call that?
I don't know.
Your fucking your bullshit carbon tax. That's
carbon
it. Your carbon tax check. Weren't we all supposed to get those?
I don't know. Were we? I thought so, but
I'm just waiting for mine so that I can start my PGW Coyote fund. Oh shit, I can't do that anymore. PGW stopped making them. I'll find a used one. I waited too long.
Yeah, true enough.
That's good. I'll just get an 870.
Hey, you know what?
What
about the other?
Actually, I don't know what, but I do know his brother who.
Okay, you're gonna shut the fuck up for a second?
Okay, go ahead.
Think about it. How about the other podcasts around?
Yeah,
like that. They don't necessarily. Well, they do support us in a small way. But
I think the Canadian podcast community is good that way in general.
Yeah,
I like taking digs, especially at Slamfire, because they're supposed to be the #1 firearms podcast in Canada.
Way to be mature about it, Chris. That's great.
But
you're an ambassador.
Really They really are great people, though, and that's the only reason that I take pokes at them because, and they're great people with a great podcast.
Absolutely, they are. Yeah,
and there's a lot of other really good Canadian podcasts. I know there's not Canadian Prepper. That's a YouTube channel
Canadian Patriot
Saskatchewan. Canadian Patriot.
Right.
There's the New Shooter podcast.
That's right. Yeah.
Who also am I missing? Well, obviously there's Rimfire Nation now.
Right.
There's the Canadian University Canadian University Shooters Federation or Canadian Shooters.
So, yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it is. Oscar, there are other podcasts. Concept. No, there are no other podcasts for you, Oscar. There is us and only us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't forget about the CCFR. Like, if you want to call Rob.
Yeah, CCFR podcast.
Yeah, sure.
There's the NFA podcast.
Yeah. Is there?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Anyway, you know what? That's about the end of my list, I suppose. You think about all the industry contacts that we've made as a result of being involved with all of these people. Like, you think about all the people that EM Precision has put us on to. Call sign 66 and Both Action Coffee. Those guys, they've hooked us up with some good people. It's like a cascading effect that you get to know somebody and they put you onto somebody else. So I've got a list of people that have been on our show that I think we really should recognize.
Okay.
And if you'll allow me.
Well, I'm certainly not going to stop you.
Except talk over top of me, you rude son of a bitch.
Yeah, but in fairness, I do that to everybody.
Yeah, you kind of do. But.
Yeah.
So I just want to shout out these people. We had Rob and Ryan with Gothic Line Armory. Ryan is no longer with Gothic Line Armory, but at the time he was. So that was a podcast way back. Chris and Scobes with Predator World Hunting. Ryan Stacy with IBI Barrels. Ryan McLean with KDEX Defense. Ryan is now with MDT rather than KDEX. Deneen and Casey with Lady Guns, and they were joined by Carrie Monzer. Remember that? Blake from Reloading All Day. The guys at Ragnarok Tactical. Of course, Doug from March Scopes Canada. Chase Curtis for not only appearing on the show, but supplying the action for my King of 2 Miles build. Like, thank you, and goddamn thank you. Ross Spagrid from PGW Defense. We had him on the show. Thank you, Ross. Ryan Friesen for an amazing Remembrance Day episode last year. You remember that? That was kind of tugging on the old heartstrings. That one. That was. I thought that was a fantastic show. Yeah. And it's too bad. And Shane Monzer will like to hear that. It's too bad he's a ginger.
Soulless bastards.
Something wrong with them people, you know.
Did you have to say it like that?
I think I did, yeah.
Actually, you did. I believed you more because you said it like that.
I know. It's more authentic.
Yes, I agree.
Going down the list, the guys with Athlon Optics, Adam, I'm going to screw up your name, but Caruana?
Caruana?
Yeah, actually, that sounds better.
It's Adam.
Adam from Amchar Wholesale Canada.
Now with CZ Canada.
Oh, that's right. What am I thinking?
Yeah. Well, he was with Amchar when he was on the show.
That's right. Yeah. But it's worth noting he is now with CZ Canada.
You didn't hear that on the mic, did you?
What was that? Did you drop your scope again?
No, I just kicked a box of empty 270 brass onto the ground.
Oh. That's 270. You don't need that shit anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't need that shit.
No.
Okay, carry on.
Ken Thiessen, at the time he was with Bullseye North. Ken is now with Vortex Optics. Rick with CRPS. We've had him on a couple of times. Always a good show with him.
No, he's boring. He's super boring.
Oh my God.
I yawn every time I see that guy. He's always like, "Hey, Chris, how's it going? How you doing?" I'm like, "I really."
Yeah. You just kind of turn and Make like you didn't hear him.
Yeah. What, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Rick.
Yeah. We had Gilbert White with the
Mhm.
Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation. That was
Yeah,
a,
that
that
guy
was
had
a
good
good
info.
informative show. Yeah, you
Yeah.
betcha. Daniel Shaw with Shaw Strategies down in the States there.
And Tango Yankee chips. Hang on, hold on. Oh, do I not have them in these pants? I think I have them in my jeans, and I'm
What do
wearing
you got in your
my maple
pants?
seed pants. No,
I don't know. This is a family show.
ever since we had Daniel on, I do have them. Ever since we
you
had
got your-
Daniel on, ever since we had Daniel on, I have carried 2 of these in my pocket since since about a couple of weeks after we had him on, because I
Be
ordered
careful you don't
them
lose
the night.
them.
Well, I got a whole bag of them upstairs. If I ever give one away, I just put another one in my pocket. But
Nice.
these are the Tango Yankee chips that Daniel has. That you see somebody doing a good thing, it's basically a thank you chip. Give them a thank you chip. Pass it on. What was that?
Awesome.
That TV show, that movie years and years and years ago with that little kid.
You're asking the
Paying
wrong
it
guy,
forward.
dude.
Pay it forward.
Mm,
Yeah, pay it forward. It was pay it
Okay.
forward.
Okay.
So anyway, Daniel Shaw,
All right.
cool dude.
Yeah, for sure. Zach Johnson, the millennial farmer.
Hmm. He was fun.
Yeah, he was.
I
Good to
missed
hear
that
his
episode, but
perspective.
I mean, it was a good episode.
Right. Ben Click with Sierra 64. We had him on, and we've
Ben
got to
is
have
awesome.
him on again. What's
Yeah.
that?
Ben is awesome.
Yeah, you got to have him on again. That show where he appeared, his connection was just dog shit. So we didn't hear so much of what he had to offer. And you know what? We've worked with him with this King of 2 Miles thing, and he's a book for sure. He's got a lot of information, and he taught us a lot, and good with the wind and the whole ballistics thing and all that nerdy stuff that I just can't wrap my head around.
Yeah, the man knows math.
Yeah, so we got to have him on for sure.
He knows bullet math.
Bullet math, it's a thing.
Yeah, it is.
The guys from Guard Dog Inserts,
Yeah.
they put out a fucking cool product. Like it's just amazing some of the stuff that they have there.
Mhm.
Jens, no, Steve, I don't think has any. Shane has a case with cutouts done by a Guard Dog, and I think EM Precision's gotten a bunch of cases done by them for customers. Shane was telling me about a switch barrel build that they did a little while ago, a rifle, and I can't remember whether it was 3 or 4 barrels, and he showed me a picture. Yeah.
Like hot swappable barrels?
Yeah.
I thought when you said switch barrel, I thought it was like you press a button and then the barrel like flips out, and it's illegal in Canada. Switchblade.
Try and stay with me here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what I'm getting at is just an amazing case. How everything was laid out in that case for the switch barrel rig, and it's just fantastic. That's with that Curtis action, I believe it was, where switching barrels is easier. They've got those sets.
Does EM do anything they're like exclusively Curtis actions, aren't they?
Not exclusively.
Not exclusively?
That's what they're
an exclusive distributor, but they aren't exclusive to.
That's what they're the Canadian dealer for Curtis, but they can get others. I mean, you look at Sean's build there. It's a KDAX action, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, obviously, derp. Yeah.
Derp. So, but they try and push Curtis as much as possible, and for good reason.
Sure.
I think. Yeah. You bet. Tony Bernardo with the CSSA.
Tony was fun.
Yeah, it was good. Well, there's a lot of information, and I mean, you think about it. How many 30 years doing what he's been doing? There's a lot there.
I thought he was even more than that, wasn't it?
It may have been. I don't know, but
it's a long time anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure he remembers Jean Chrétien.
Oh yes, I remember that son of a bitch.
Who throws his shoe? Honestly. Wait, no. That was George Bush Jr.
Okay.
I got that wrong. Bush Jr. had a shoe thrown at him. Chrétien punched a guy.
That's right.
Yeah, Chrétien threw a punch at a guy. Yeah.
Was it no?
No, he tried to choke him.
Was it Was it Chrétien or old Trudeau? No, old Trudeau just gave Western Canada the finger from the train.
Well, so did new Trudeau. Let's be honest. No,
He's
it
not
was
ballsy enough for that.
That's what it was. Kretchen wrapped his hands around a guy's throat. Yeah, he
Oh,
choked
is that
a guy.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, according to Spudman, he chalked a guy.
That's a good technique, man. It's
Yes.
a lost art, chalking someone.
It is very difficult to do. It takes a lot of practice, years and years of
Yes,
practice.
That's right.
The key
For
is
an
to catch them
effective
when they're
chalk.
unawares.
That's right.
Yeah, for a good chalking, catch them unaware.
All right. You remember the
Typo.
MPs?
No shit. Thanks as typo.
The MPs Shannon Stubbs and Warren Steinley.
Yeah, we had
That was
them
a
on
good
together.
show. Yeah, you betcha. That was good. Cal Menard for not only for being on the show twice,
But for doing it from a graveyard.
right? He's a keener. Holy fuck!
That was great.
None of this. Fuck! I don't have a good connection. I'll just give up. No, wait here.
Yeah,
I'm going to
hold
drive
on
down
one.
to the graveyard where there's better reception.
And he didn't have a cell phone either. Like he picked up his laptop and threw his laptop in
That's
his
right,
center
yeah.
console and just trucked it on up to the graveyard where all the reception is.
I'll tell you what. There's a guy that wants to talk guns and shooting.
Yeah, no doubt.
When you're willing to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we have Daniel Fritter from Caliber Magazine. That was
Yes.
a great conversation.
Yes. Daniel continues to put out a good magazine and good information.
Absolutely, he does. Yeah, it's. I was listening to a string of his podcasts the other day when I had a bunch of paperwork to do, and just put that on in the background and listen to him talk.
His coverage
It
of
was
the
good.
election has been good.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, you betcha. And who's that other fellow that he's been having on with him?
He's had a couple of different people on.
Okay.
I don't
saw
know
one, but-
any of them particularly specifically.
Mhm.
Obviously, he's chosen them because they're politicos, but
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he does a good job of that, man.
he really does. Yeah.
I think, anyway. Matt Hipwell from Wolverine Supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
Mr. Matt telling us all about how Wolverine got started.
Yeah, that was interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Ryan with Graybow Stocks. That was a good show.
Mhm. Yeah, it was.
He's a humble guy, hey, that one.
Super. But
Oh.
like what a thing though. It's like
Yeah,
you're the son of the guy who makes like one of the most popular brands
premier-
of custom stocks.
yeah,
And you're like, nah, I'm gonna go do my own thing.
that's right.
I'm gonna go compete against you, Dad. But they still, like he was saying, like they still
Yeah.
get along very, very well. It's like
Right.
you're competitors, but you're not really competitors. And he also had that device that would tell you your cant, and it would tell you your impact and
Man,
all
we
that.
got to follow up with that.
Yeah,
I
I can't remember
forgot
what that
about
thing
that.
is called. That was
That,
a
shot
super interesting
recorder.
looking device.
Mhm.
Yeah, shot recorder. That's basically what it was, but I can't remember what the hell it's called now.
I can't either. But you know what? I bet if we go to his website, we'll probably see it,
We probably will.
or at least
Should
a link to his site.
We should pray.
Anyway.
and the company was named after his kids.
That's right too. You bet.
It's a mixture of their names.
Tyler with MK Machining. Remember that guy? That was. He was
I
almost
was
like
not
Hammy.
on that episode, but
Oh.
what a dude with energy.
Oh, like Hammy from that Over the Hedge. Like he just, I want to show you everything. Hey, did you guys see this over here? Let's go over this way. This is what happens when we push this button.
That's right. Squirrel.
Holy, exactly right. Yeah. And I
But
had
what
one of
an
his scope
entertaining
levels.
guy, though.
Yeah, absolutely, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Bill Blair for being on. And just jokes. Are you kidding? We never have that
I'd like to give a
drunken
big
lion son of a
thank out to
bitch on
Bill
our show.
Blair.
Yeah.
Bill Blair.
I just wanted to see your
political-
reaction.
I was just like, Bill, what the fuck?
Did I miss that show?
We were in Bizarro world for that
Yeah.
episode.
J.R. Cox from the Shooting Edge.
Yes. JR's a
Him-
fun guy.
Absolutely. Him and the Boogaloo Square thing. Or whatever the
That's
heck.
right. That's right.
The Boogaloo story. And
Yeah.
finally on my list, and I'm sure I've missed a few people, and it's not intentional. I'm sorry if I have. missed some people. I know I've missed.
Well, you
some
actually missed Phil. Phil was a lot of fun on too. But you,
No,
I mean, you talked about Phil earlier, but
Yeah,
but
right.
yeah, he
So
was a great.
that's why I
fun when
left
he was
Phil
on the
out of
show.
the kind of the shout out list
Yeah.
at the end. But Armin from Arm and Gun. That was kind of cool. All his firearms
the man with
has.
the best
Plaid.
the best gun room,
Oh
at
my
least in the
God.
prairies.
That's
I
crazy.
don't know. I haven't seen Matt Hipwell's. His might be interesting
that's
too,
true.
but
yeah.
because Matt's got all the licenses.
Yeah, true enough.
What we should do is have them both on with a head-to-head of their gun rooms, because I'm sure that they'll be interesting.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yenzi reminds us that, and I don't know how I missed this, but Aaron O'Toole had him on. And,
you had him on during the leaders.
That's
race.
right. And you know what? My shout out to him is dependent on whether or not he wins this fucking thing on Monday. So there.
Yeah, because if he doesn't win on Monday,
he's out of my life.
Guy.
That's right.
And if he does win, hey, Prime Minister, want to come back on?
You're back on the Christmas card list.
That's right. Yeah, we also forgot Quick Dick McDick.
Oh, that's right too. Yeah.
Where you get
I have a terrible
memory.
So I was scrolling through our list on our website, picking out all the names.
Is it a toonie's worth of opinion that he gives? Because
I think so.
Nickel doesn't buy you much anymore,
right? Yeah,
or something like that. Something like
we
should have Quick Dick on again. That guy's a charismatic dude, and he's from our province.
It's funny as hell. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of our biggest shows too.
Probably because of his audience.
Yeah, that's precisely right. It sure as hell wasn't because ours. Yeah, we don't have that many, but we have loyal listeners.
We have loyal, fantastic, lovely.
Which brings me to finally, last but not least, exactly.
You shill, you absolute ass kisser.
Well, listen, would we even be doing this if people didn't fucking listen?
Well, we wouldn't be doing it as well.
No.
I probably wouldn't be wearing pants.
And I'd be drinking my face off.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. But just sitting around every couple of months, get together and talk about guns and then politics.
How you guys doing? Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Oh, you doing good? Yeah, I'm doing good too. Cool. Talk to you next month.
Yeah. Yeah. Now people listen to that bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know why people want to listen to us, but I'm sure thankful that they do.
Yep, it's good, man.
Yep.
Well, that's about all I got. I just needed to get that off my chest. Like I said, I was kind of...
Well, that was pretty short. Jens says I'm not wearing pants anymore. Jens, I'm a little bit concerned at how you knew that. Jens says I'm not wearing pants. I am. Would you like me to prove it?
It's all right. Well,
I'm even wearing my Maple Seed shirt because I had to come here straight from Maple Seed.
And how'd that go today, other than the wind?
The wind was terrible. It was well, the toughest thing about it is that we ended up not having anybody qualify rifleman today, and I am very certain we would have had about 2 or if not 3 people qualify rifleman if not for the wind. The wind was absolutely oppressive. Who wears pants these days? Well, Anthony, this guy. This guy wears pants.
These are slacks.
No, they're not. They're tack pants.
Oh, okay.
They got the knee zippers and everything.
And look at this, Oscar, ever supportive. People listen to you guys.
I just come to make smart remarks, not to listen. I turn on your audio program specifically not to listen to you, you son of a bitch.
Oh, shit.
I smell lies. Oscar is secretly our number one listener. He's got like 6 different podcast accounts, and he downloads us on all of them so that we get 6 hits instead of 1.
I think so. He's a good guy that way.
He is very nice, man.
You know what? I should also shout out my buddy Warren at ScoutVid.
Yep.
And the other thing we should do too, I suppose, since we skipped the ad reads and all that. Yeah. We should tell folks where to find EM precision rifles.
Yeah. Well, do a Google search for EM precision rifles.
That's right. Who doesn't know how to do that? But
go ahead. Yep.
Their Instagram, Facebook, and that is EM Precision. Well, EMPrifles.ca is their website. And I think it's EM Precision Rifles on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
And Bolt Action Coffee is boltactioncoffee.com. And they're
use the code first focal plane, all one word, and you get 10% off your order.
10% off. Call sign 66 again is callsign66.ca.
Yep. And that's call sign and the number 6. Don't write 6.
That's
Don't
right.
write SIX. Although they should probably buy that and redirect it to call sign number 6.ca. I'm sure nobody ever tries that. And carry on.
Probably not. You know what? On Instagram, I think they are call sign 66 SIX. SIX.
Are they really?
I think so.
Oops.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's just one of the guys. I'm not sure exactly.
And just because Sean's not here tonight, I'm going to, this is for Sean. Oh, welcome to the Brotherhood.
Odell Engineering. Odell Engineering Limited.com. LTD.com. Check them out. Good people. Yep. Good product.
Or just walk into your local gun store.
That's right.
Tell them Phil sent you.
Tell them Phil sent you. And if
don't know who he is. Everybody knows who Phil is.
Scoutvid.com. Check those out. Get your kid noticed. Take some video of your kid playing hockey, primarily hockey. You can try other stuff too. Submit it to scoutvid.com. It's free, and they'll get you hooked up with a scout. Hopefully, of course, your kid's got to have talent.
Of course, your kid's Of course, if your kid's a talentless loser, you won't get anything.
That's right.
But if you got the next Gretzky on your hands,
that's right. Yeah. Please, people, recognize if your kid has talent. You know, he might be better off as a politician.
Yeah. He could be the next Jagmeet Singh running for the NDP.
Yeah. Please don't.
Yeah. Please don't.
Anyway, now that we've gotten through that, just wanted to
we've kind of brushed on politics a couple of times. Should we talk about the election? We feel like people have been expecting us to give our 2 cents on the election.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. How are you feeling about it? I'm
not feeling hopeful. No, sir, I don't like it.
I think as much as I like to be positive, I think we are fuckered.
Well, you know, so I was listening to some other podcast, a politics podcast the other day, and one person said something that has resonated with me the most out of anybody who's analyzed this election so far. This is not an election where people are voting for what they want. This is an election where people are voting for what they don't want.
Well, the people on our side.
Well, the people on the other side too. There's a lot of pollsters who are thinking that people are voting for Trudeau still, not necessarily because they particularly like Trudeau.
That's true. Yeah,
he may not be as oppressive to them as he is to people like us.
Yeah.
But it's not that they particularly like him. It's that they're still deathly afraid that the Conservatives are, I don't know, going to take away all their gays and stop letting anybody have abortions and and all this kind of stuff.
Upset their world that's being fucking flushed down the toilet. Really makes a lot of sense.
That's part of the thing, you know, like I'm not a one issue voter. I am absolutely, like, next to punching and choking people, shooting is the next most important thing in my life. But I'm still not a one platform person. Like, if it's just guns, like, that's pretty important to me, but it's not the most important thing to me.
James says Rooster 2026, and you know what?
Do it.
I've thought about it a lot. It's too bad I don't speak even reasonably well, but I would love to. I would love to get up there and, like, listen, you're a fucking idiot, and these are the things that need to be done in order to make this country better. So shut the fuck up, buckle up, and let's get at it.
Shut the fuck up and vote, Rooster.
James
2026.
Kopak, 4-day work week. Okay, James, re-education.
Wait a minute,
time.
that's socialism, James.
No,
no socialism. No.
you get your ass to work, and the country will get better. Free bottle Fridays. Okay,
dude,
I can get
that's
on
a
board
slogan.
with that.
Wait a minute, you just skipped right over one of the best slogan I've heard of this election, and it's not even coming from a politician. What did you say?
That?
Get the fuck back to work, and the country will sort itself out.
That's right.
Something like that. Well, I got to rewind this because I don't think that's exactly what he said, but it was close enough.
Something like that. I don't know. That's the other thing. You got to have a decent memory to be a politician, I think.
Well, and I clearly don't have that because I can't even remember what you said 5 seconds ago.
Chris W. was handing out CCFR election pamphlets in GTA, Costco, malls, houses, and I am not hopeful, either based on people's reactions and comments. Holy smoke.
Yeah. Well, okay, there was something really interesting that I saw today, and I screenshotted it, and I'm going to read it.
Okay.
I'm just going to bring it up really quick and play the Jeopardy theme while I do that here. Okay. Here we go. All right. So, okay, here we go. I'm just going to read this as it was posted on Facebook, okay, by Mike Loberg. He says, here's more math just for fun. In the 2019 election, these were the numbers for voter turnout. The population of Canada was 37.8 million. Registered electors was 27.1 million. And the ballots cast were 17.88 million.
That's
so
sad,
the percentage, the percentage of electors that voted was 65.95%.
Mm-hmm.
So just about 66% of people who could vote voted.
Wasn't that one of the highest turnouts ever?
It was a very high turnout election. Yeah. Super high. Yeah. So the percentage of the population that voted, like of the total population, was 47.3%. So rolling forward to this election, the Liberal crime family, I love that Loberg calls it, like even when he does the acronym, it's the LCF, not the LPC. Anyway, the Liberal crime family is ahead in seats, but only has 32.1% of voters. Using the last election as sample numbers, applying 32.1% to the relevant numbers are percentage of electors that will vote for the Liberal crime family is 21.17%. Percentage of the population that will vote, percentage of the total population that will vote Liberal crime family is only 15.18%. The number of, which means that the approximate number of people that will vote for the Liberals is approximately 5.7 million people will vote for the Liberals.
No kidding.
This is the number of people who will decide the future of Canada. 53% of the population won't even fucking show up. 32% of the population will vote for someone else.
Yeah.
But 15% of the population will put the Liberal crime family back in power.
Jesus Christ.
And the majority of them will be in Ontario or Quebec.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Which is not to brighten everybody's day, but
way to go.
Stunning numbers, right?
I'm going to go find some rope now.
Make sure it's that thick twine stuff, like none of that thin stuff that might snap.
No. Yeah. Definitely not. Spudman, he's all self-conscious about his spelling now. Way to go, Chris.
So what did he do?
He spelled Mr. O'Toole earlier without
I think that was
at the end,
intentional.
and now he corrected himself.
Created.
Yeah. See, this is why I can't be a politician.
You're mistyping your words. I speak in mistype. I think he wrote O'Toole that way on purpose. He did ask a question, though.
He did. So I heard Mr. O'Toole will be keeping the Liberal gun ban. Is this true? It is true, but you got to understand that in order to get some of those voters out of the fucking Liberal pen, you've got to appeal to some of those people.
Yeah.
At least a little bit. And let's face it, this gun topic has been a hot topic for a long time, and it seems to be right up there with one of the top few topics that's going to determine this election. So I don't see it as having been much choice unless he wanted to swing wide open into right field, right? And
which would be blowing his entire campaign out the water.
That's
He might
right.
as well
So,
just hand the towel in.
So you got to believe that there's some strategy here. Okay, we'll leave it alone for the time being, just to appease some of those people on the left, to try and get those people attracted to the CPC.
But I don't
Once
even know
they
if it's
get that-
accurate to say that he'll leave it alone. He'll
No,
like,
but listen, here's my theory.
yeah.
Leave it alone until they get the win, until they get settled in, until they start establishing themselves and creating their government.
Yeah.
Then he can go and pay attention to that and have a look at the classification system again, and properly, right? So think strategy, for Christ's sake. The thing that I've always, ever since I was small and started watching politics, I've thought, fuck, people are stupid, because the topic of the day seems to be what people jump on. Okay, that day's topic is why I'm going to vote for these guys.
Yeah.
And fuck what's going to happen in the future. They don't think strategically necessarily. It's like, oh, they made these promises during their campaign. Well, those things are why I voted for them. Never mind, what they plan to do or would plan to do, what their values are as a party, not necessarily what their platform is in the fucking campaign.
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of people I think have discarded. As soon as people heard that he flip-flopped, right, on the whole gun thing.
He didn't really even flip-flop. He did train strategy.
Right.
But
that's what they heard, though, Chris.
Yeah.
And
I think
they
the
wrote him off.
Conservatives could have done a much better job of fighting the term flip-flop, because I think just hearing he flip-flopped on guns has turned more pro-gun people against him than actually finding out what he actually did, which was strange. It was changed strategy. It wasn't a flip-flop. He just changed his strategy. He realized that he was playing checkers and he should have been playing chess. Look at the history of gun legislation in this country. Let's just go back like a little bit more than 20 years ago. We got the Firearms Act 1998, the long gun registry. Okay. Right. So the liberals bring in a long gun registry, conservatives get in, minority government. Right. Finally, majority government. The first thing they do with a majority government, they just wipe it off the board. They can pass whatever legislation they want. They just undo what the liberals did. Well, then the liberals get back in again, because everything is cyclical in this country. It always happens that way. Eventually, the other party always gets in. Yeah. And so what does fucking moron dipshit McFucking nasty face do? Well, he not only uses his he not only uses his majority government, because he had a majority to begin with. Right. He didn't have to wait like Harper did. Harper had to work for multiple election cycles to try and get a majority to be able to just undo what Chrétien did. Right. Trudeau was able to do it right away because he started with a majority, and he just, fucks everybody over again. Yeah. And then, so everybody's expecting a conservative government just to, stroke of the pen and just undo it, just do an order and cancel, just like he did. Well, here's the reality. The number one complaint that our community had, and rightfully so, the number one complaint that we had was that he did it undemocratically. And that is absolutely right. It defies democracy to use an order in council the way that he used it. Even though it would be for O'Toole to do it to undo the wrong that Trudeau did, it is still using an order in council for the wrong reason. It is misusing and the order in council the same way that Trudeau already did.
See, that's the thing, Chris. That's in the past. That has not been brought up in this campaign at all. So it's not even on the fucking radar, hey?
But that's like O'Toole doesn't want to make that a wedge issue, and he shouldn't want to make that a wedge issue because he won't get centrist voters putting focus on guns.
Right.
And that's the other thing that our community needs to understand. We need to just like accept. And if we had just shut the fuck up after the French debate, the first French debate to begin with, then Trudeau wouldn't have realized that he struck a nerve when he was talking about guns, and we wouldn't have
bit of fucking blood
in the first place.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. We just need to shut the fuck up for once in a while.
Well, what's the number one rule
get
in the
proper
fucking
people
gun
in
community,
party?
Right.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Right.
It's the number one rule.
And here we are.
Yeah, we absolutely forgot that.
Fuck.
So
like
then
a bunch
we
of
have
frantic fucking children.
Exactly. So then we have people like Tracy Wilson who are trying to play damage control because now you can't tell people just to shut the fuck up because everybody's yelling about it too loudly. So she starts trying to explain it, and that just gave them even more ammunition.
Oh yeah.
So at that point, number one, I think O'Toole. Well, I understand why he said I'll repeal the Order in Council because he wanted gun owners on his side. So I understand why he said that in the first place.
Plus, I think it is a real value of the CPC.
I do agree with that. But I do think, take the human factor out of it.
Yes.
The better strategy to begin with would have been to play a longer game like they're doing now. Right. Which is, and what they've flip-flopped on, but actually haven't flip-flopped, is they're now talking about doing it through legislation rather than doing it through an Order in Council. They're talking about getting an
above board.
An actual expert committee to start classifying firearms based off their function, not off of their looks. And by the way, that's something that gun owners have been yelling about for decades.
And suddenly it just fucking leaked out, and
suddenly somebody says that they're going to do it, and we crucify him for it.
Right.
It's like if the second coming actually happened, and the actual Jesus walked the earth again and said, "Hi guys, I kept my promise. I'm Jesus."
Son of a bitch! This is the wrong time.
No, not even that, man. The most devout people would be yelling and screaming about how he's fake and he's not the real Jesus, and vote PPC.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening right now. Finally, he changed his strategy to what he probably should have done in the first place.
Yeah.
And to something that is harder for the Liberal Party just to undo the next time they inevitably form a government. I think that it's actually a better strategy, and it should have been the strategy all along.
I think so, but I don't think the reaction from the gun community would have been any different. He comes out on the platform right out of the gate and makes a statement like that or whatever. I think we would have reacted collectively, the same way. But the people, we're living in a society of instant gratification, right? People want to hear what's best for them right fucking now.
Yeah.
Right? They don't think of the long game.
Which is ironic.
We really should, as gun owners, we really should, because we know fucking well nothing positive ever happens quickly.
Yes.
Right?
And nothing permanent.
Right. But if we get the right people in there, and you know what, maybe O'Toole's not the right person, but he's the right fucking step.
Yes.
To get to where we need to
name
be.
a politician who is the right person.
Well,
come on.
Exactly.
Like Maxime Bernier is really like the guy. Like he's a politician just the same as everybody else is a politician.
Well, I'm almost as eloquent as he is, and that's
almost. You're way more eloquent, and your fucking beard is way better than anything he could ever
kind of
grow.
Pretty, aren't I? Yeah.
You are kind of pretty. What are the
you remind me of my cellmate.
The Rooster.
Bald head and all.
Oh
You're
boy,
making me blush.
Now we're getting specific. Go pick up that soap. Anyway, let's get into what a couple of people are saying here. So Chris W says he and his team should have known better when they published the platform with the promises of the OIC and C71. Yeah, I completely agree with what Chris is saying there. Although, given the human equation, I understand why he specifically talked about the OIC, because it's the only thing gun owners were willing to accept at the time, right?
Yeah.
So I do understand why he started
that's
out
a
that way.
tough spot to be in, isn't it? Like,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what? In some ways, I think he'd have been better off just to say fucking nothing about guns. That
Mhm.
way, it wouldn't have sparked that. You know, the liberals wouldn't have bared their teeth on it.
Yeah,
like the fucking
absolutely.
NDP isn't saying a goddamn thing about guns, are they?
No, of course
Like,
not.
they're not even. That's not even on the radar.
No.
And I believe
unless
the
you
liberals
make-
would have left that alone.
Yes.
If we hadn't have made it the goddamn issue.
Yes.
But they come out of the gate and it's guns. And yes, it appeals to some, but not enough to make a damn difference.
Yes. And this is part of the problem. Everybody's like we, as gun owners, we're like, you have to accept our lifestyle. Yes.
Yeah.
They do have to accept our lifestyle. And we have to accept their lifestyle. And we have to accept that for the majority, there's only 2.2 million people with PALs in this country out of 38 million people.
There's only 15.7 million voters for Trudeau, though.
Well, 5.7.
5.7, sorry.
But
15%.
the voters for the Liberal Party just about triple the number of gun owners in this country.
That's right.
So instead of alienating everybody else who would actually be on our side if we weren't yelling and screaming all the time, we need to make these people our fucking allies.
Well, and how many times have we talked about this, and how many times have other people talked about this? Rod has talked about this for how
ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum is right. You know, it's just, we can't get it through our thick fucking skulls. Collectively, at least, right?
Collectively, yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Individuals are extremely smart. Groups are really dumb, and there is a direct, what's it called? A direct correlation between the size of the group and how stupid the group is collectively.
Sure, there is, absolutely.
And there's 2.2 million of us. That's a pretty big group.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we shoot ourselves in the foot way more than we need to.
Willingly,
way more than we should. Willingly, way more than we should.
Yeah.
Well, and there's even a segment of our population who is willing to cut off our own nose just to spite our face.
Yeah.
Which I don't get that at all. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yep. God damn it! I've only ever owned granddaddy's cooey, and that's all a fella ever fucking needs. You don't need that fancy shit.
I want everybody else to accept my lifestyle, but if it comes down to me accepting everyone else's lifestyle, well, fuck them. They should just live like me.
That's right.
If you want everyone to accept you, you have to accept everybody else. Yeah, anyway, we beat that to death. Anthony says he was probably trying to switch the liberal media topic away from guns. I think that's 100%. I think he realized that Trudeau was getting traction with it, and he had to do something to take the traction away. And guess what? He did. Unfortunately,
that's the thing. It was like, oh, please, God, make this go away now.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was the switch. He was leading in the polls until that wedge was created.
If you had to shut the fuck up.
Just shut the fuck up. Chris W says it was clear the liberal crime family, I think he meant liberal crime family, would go after him for it. Yeah, absolutely they would.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah.
Okay, John.
Well, let's hear what John Rogers has to say. John says we should be talking about the number one issue for Canadian voters. How in TF, I think that means how in the fuck, can the televised debate focus on climate change when it's barely in the top 10 for issues that Canadians care about? I think the reason for that is because
Rosie Barton.
Did
you see that shit?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh my God, what a nauseating cunt. Sorry.
I think that the media wants climate change to be the number one issue for Canadians. So they just keep saying that it's the number one issue for Canadians. So even if it's maybe the number 5, the number 6, the number 10, the number 11 for most people, as soon as they hear that often that it's the number one, then they say, oh, well, maybe it should be the number one for me too. And then all of a sudden it is the number one. And now we've just created it. It's the number one issue for Canadian voters. Just the same as no typical centrist voter was thinking about gun control until they made it about gun control.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
Anthony's not being sarcastic, but he says, and this right here is why I love this podcast. I hope that's then genuine. Yeah, he hasn't checked out yet, so I'm going to assume he's not.
See,
being sarcastic.
another reason why I can't be a politician. I'm not sure how many people would respond positively to the C word, because it would come out.
Yeah, I don't think the average voter likes the word cunt. No, I don't think they do. Just
But
call them
tell me I'm
fiddle
wrong,
faddles or whatever the hell it
in
was.
that case, though, Rosemary Barton.
Yeah,
what-
what's
Okay.
her deal?
Candace Malcolm. She's got her little show there or whatever. She put together. Okay, so Rosemary Barton, that fat cow. I had to throw it in there. God, what a wicked person. Anyway,
A wicked
she
person.
had O'Toole on, and
Yes.
it was not. It was not an interview. It was not a chat. It was a fucking debate between him and her, and she was just an ignorant bitch. Like,
Is she CBC?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, now I understand. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then she had Trudeau on after that, and she was sucking
And it
his
was all
nuts.
sunny ways.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Anthony, tell us what you really think.
Oh, brother, yeah.
I really think she's a bloated, insufferable cow.
I'm trying to be calm. That barely human
Barely human.
drives me insane. And
well, the reality is that media in this country, there is no unbiased media in this country.
no.
We have right-wing media and we have left-wing media, and both are it's no different.
There's a
than the
few
United States.
there's a few that get close to going down the center.
Every once in a while. Yeah.
But
And you got the CBC who plays lip service to it because that's part of their mandate. And if you can prove that they're not, well, then,
yeah.
but yeah.
Carlos Hathcock, I haven't seen you for a while, buddy.
Yeah. Go ahead. Read him. What's he saying?
Maybe a Liberal win be the final nail in the coffin for Western Canadians that will actually push them over the edge, is having them call for a separation referendum. I don't know, just the thought, you know what? I've thought the very same thing. I'm hoping that I truly am hoping, honestly, that
I think Western separation is a
us,
very interesting idea.
I would love to see it go through. I'm not even in that group that says, man, maybe it would be nice, but it would just be too much work and too much hardship. And look at we'd be so much better off as a unit. What's the word I want to use? Cohesive country. Absolutely. I'm not even there anymore. I am absolutely fucking tired of this. Cut it off. Go diagonally through Manitoba. And
I do think that we have to be very well and truly prepared for very hard times.
Absolutely. There's no question.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I'm not convinced that the average Western Canadian has the fortitude for that.
No, we've had it too goddamn soft for too goddamn long. And listen, if I don't get my fucking Tim Hortons coffee within 4 minutes, it's an outrage, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How much do you think people are going to put up with hardship wise if we go ahead and separate?
Yeah.
Shit is going to get bad.
Yeah. It would get very bad, and it would be for a long time.
Absolutely, it would be.
Yeah. Our standard of living would.
We just finished talking about the long game, right?
Yeah.
And who's willing to play that?
Yeah, I don't think most Western Canadians are.
All the people that truly saw hardship are either dead, those old people that actually went through it, or are new fucking people to this country that actually came from hardship. We don't know that.
That's true. We don't. Yeah. And
None of us
I don't think that Western separation is a realistic idea, simply because I don't think that the average Western Canadian has the fortitude to go through the hard times that it would bring. What I think is very interesting
5.7% of us. 5.7 million of us, maybe.
That's all we need. I do think that what is a more realistic idea, given where most people are at, is the Buffalo Declaration.
Okay, so this
is not talking about separation, but is talking about redefining confederation,
right.
and redefining the power imbalance between the West and the East.
So this is the argument that I had with that friend of mine that I was telling you about before the show. That he had his objections to my support of the CPC, and the way to go is either PPC or Maverick. And I tried to explain to him that we've got to take the first fucking step in the right direction. There's there's the snowball's chance in hell, even less, that either one of those parties will even get a seat.
Yeah. And you're not going to move forward by putting on lead shoes.
Right. You've got to get the fucking door open first, and then
at least get your foot in the door.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is no movement if we have no door to go through. Right now, we have no door.
Yeah. And right now, Oscar's.
I'm upset now.
Now I'm upset. We started this out as a gratitude show. we should have started with the politics and ended with the gratitude. Oscar says, when carbon tax makes us all live in poverty, maybe we'll all wake up. And that's a very real possibility too, man. I mean, if
the hell of it is
electing that fucking gong show that we've had for the last 6 years.
See, the thing,
our standard of living is already going down. I mean,
absolutely.
The housing crisis, I think, is a lot more close, like what John was saying. I think it's more of an issue for Canadians right now, the cost of housing and rentals, than climate is. Like, when it comes right down to it, and it should be, because it affects their daily lives more.
But
we're not really making a big deal out of that. Yeah. You having to take a puffer or something, or
no? It's a top up dip.
Way to go, Trudeau. You've
pushed
into a top up dip.
Again, we're talking about the long game, and the people don't want to go through hardship to get to a better place. Guess what, folks? I think we're in for hardship anyway. So do you want to have hardship for lasting hardship, or do you want to have a hardship for a better end product?
Yeah. Well, and that's really what it comes down to. But are people going to think about the long term, right?
No, they won't.
I think
that instant gratification thing.
It is, yeah. And I think that I certainly understand the desire to just say, fuck it, tear it all down, and we'll become our own country. I'm concerned that that's just as nihilistic as all the woke dipshits and cancel culture. You know what I mean?
It has the potential to be, for sure.
It has the potential to be, for sure. And my biggest concern in that sort of a situation would be that we would replace, one shitty authoritarian situation for another.
Of course.
I don't know. I really support the Buffalo Declaration. I think that a rebalancing of power in this country would fix a lot of the problems. I fear that nothing short of a civil war would ever get the Buffalo Declaration passed, because Quebec and Ontario will never allow it.
Right.
But
why did those movements fail in the past? Because there have been movements, small ones.
Well, because they weren't willing to do the work. It's exactly what you said. They weren't willing to play the long game. There's if I don't get if I don't get what I want, I'm going to take my pail and shovel and I'm going to leave the sandbox. And they were
People's
like, "Will you though?"
Spans are about that fucking long.
Exactly.
And listen, everybody's got. I think about it too. Like my kids, what are they faced with? And the hard times we'll go through to get to a better place. But now I am absolutely convinced that, guess what? My kids are going to see real fucking hard times anyway. So we
Oh,
might as well
absolutely.
start a movement in the direction we want and experience that hardship to get to a better place.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a hardship coming one way or the other. And it doesn't matter whether you believe that climate change is man-made or whether climate change is just, a natural cyclical thing. The reality is that there is more extreme weather.
Sure,
Call it climate change, call it global warming, call it fucking
whatever
CO2,
cycle,
carbon capture, horse shit, whether it's man-made. Everybody gets so caught up on whether it's man-made or whether it's a natural cycle of the earth. Right. Who gives a fuck?
It's here.
It really doesn't. Just fucking batten the hatches and fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
But we're too busy pointing fingers about it because we're too busy making it a political issue.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, Oscar says he's echoing what I was saying about it. How do you get the East to ever acknowledge the Buffalo Declaration? They will never give Westerners an opening. And then that's the problem with the Buffalo Declaration. It's not that it's not solid. It's that the people that it redistributes power away from are the people who have the power right now, and they would never let it happen. Sean is apparently listening to us, even though he couldn't join us, and he doesn't want me talking about housing.
Okay. Well, let's not talk about housing to please the millennial.
I'm going to separate from Sean. Western Sean-eration.
Oppressor.
Oppressor. You accuser. Anyway, so Spudman thinks he has a gut feeling we'll have another minority government. I think at this point, unfortunately, I think that's the most likely outcome is we're going to have another minority liberal government. Nothing is going to change. So I think they'll probably replace O'Toole. I don't, here's the thing, with this election, if it goes the way that it looks like it's going, I wonder how hard they will go after guns again.
You know what? I hold out small hope that they'll just let it ride for a while.
With a majority, we're fucked.
Absolutely.
Hard.
They'll just go
with a minority. I think he may be like, whew, we dodged a bullet with that one, boys. Maybe we should just be status quo for a little while. Just like he was, because he went from a majority to a minority, and we heard nothing from him.
Zero.
Until the pandemic.
Lazy fuck. Yep.
And
then he got lazier.
He was just waiting for a crisis to jump on. Yeah. And don't forget, guys, all of these other bills that got tabled, all these horseshit bills that died on the table, they were all during the pandemic. The order in council, he waited for the pandemic. The pandemic turned that minority government back into a majority. But for that, what was it? October of 19 to March of 2020, he was virtually silent that entire time. And if he gets another minority, look for him to try to extend the pandemic.
Oh, fucking A.
It allows him to do something, because if people start saying, no, we need to get back to normal with him as a minority government, he'll be handicapped again. He needs a crisis or he needs a majority.
Yep.
So I don't think a minority is the absolute worst thing that could happen to us. I do think that things might calm down a little bit as he tries to garner some support from fucking water carrying dead meat fucking jagoff. God, I hate that guy. I hate that man. I really kind of respected Jack Layton. I hate Jagmeet Singh with a fiery passion.
Oh my God.
You want to talk about a virtue signaling dipshit.
Oh,
anyway,
such a man boy.
So yeah, I agree with Spudman. And Sean says they didn't hand out enough pamphlets, and I hurt Sean's feeling. Yes,
the only one he had left.
I'm also getting on his nerve. He didn't say that, but I am. Anthony says liberal minority, and there will be another order in council list. Majority, there will be legislation to take more away. Fuck, I hope not. I really hope not.
Do you think there's any way they'd get a majority though right now?
No.
I don't think so either.
I mean, unless it comes out that O'Toole strangles kittens in the next day or two. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
And the next scandal little Castro gets away with will pay the price. I do hope happens, because I mean the guy is too much of a fucking narcissist not to be involved in another scandal. And I think that he
No,
lost
I
his
think
majority.
Dan is saying that
Oh.
we will pay the price for that.
Oh, well, no, you're right
'Cause
about
he's-
that. He'll try to deflect. Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
right. Exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
try
also
and take heat off
believe
himself.
that the major reason why he lost his majority was because of SNC Lavalin and Jordy Wilson-Raybould and Transwest and
I
all
think
of
it
that shit.
factored in. Yeah.
And I think the reason that he's not just absolutely soaring during this election is because of the other scandals, because of fucking, what was it, Aga Khan, because of what he's done with the pandemic and all of that kind of shit. I think that it's the same thing with Chrétien. It took like 5 or 6 fucking scandals for Chrétien finally to come down. And I think that's what needs to happen for the country to finally agree that the Liberals shouldn't be in power. They just have to fuck the dog so hard and so many times that people finally say, okay, Jesus, man, like I support you, but like I can't support this anymore. I'm going to vote this guy for a little while.
What cost, though? That's what I don't understand.
Huge cost every time.
Absolutely. Jesus.
So we're about 5 minutes past our bedtime.
Well, Sean's not here to bring the hammer down, so that's why we floated a little bit past the gate.
That's why he started making comments. He's like,
"That's right,
guys,
you assholes, get out of here."
Well, I think this is a very dichotomous episode here. Is dichotomous a word? Our episode was
Sure.
On both ends of the spectrum. We had such a happy gratitude episode, and we also had a doom and gloom episode.
Yeah.
Okay, one last question here.
Mhm.
Spudman, by miracle, if Trudeau lost, would he resign? No, I don't think he would. However, I do believe that both Chrystia Freeland and Bill Morneau, not Bill Morneau, former Bank of Canada douchebag, Bill Morneau is the former finance minister.
Right.
His oh my God, I can't remember his name, but he was a former CEO of the Bank of Canada, and he's now started getting involved with the Liberals. But Chrystia Freeland and he both, I think, are waiting in the wings for him to not win an election, and I think that they will pounce on him like a Pomeranian after its owner dies.
His ego won't let him resign.
No, I don't think he will. I think that they will take him down.
Do you think
if
so?
he loses an election, the only thing he's got going for him is that he keeps winning. He is not well liked within the Liberal Party. Look at what he's done. He has gutted that freaking party with the number of people that he has thrown under the bus. And good, I don't like the Liberals, but like good Liberals, like for the Liberals, good Liberals. Like Bill Morneau was a good Liberal MP. And just under the bus, like done with him. Oh, yeah. I think as soon as he doesn't win an election and he doesn't have that protection, I think Chrystia Freeland and God, wish I could remember his name. I think both of them are going to fucking pounce on him like a pack of dogs. And I hope they do, because he'll fucking deserve it.
Oh.
Anyway, call sign 66. Welcome to the Brotherhood. Anyway,
all right,
I'll be done now.
Okay. We should take off.
Yeah, we should take off.
Had my steak before. Now I need to go to bed. 4 o'clock comes pretty goddamn early.
Ain't that the truth? Holy schmeckle. Yeah. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on this episode and for continuing to join us on this episode after we got really ranty.
Oh, look at this guy.
It's like, will you guys fucking log off already, Sean?
So I was listening, and then I'm like, I'm going to hop on before they get back and get off. So, no, I was helping Warren Stanley with some volunteer work. Regina Luban, CBC candidate. So, sorry, guys, I committed, and I haven't done fuck all with him this year.
Don't be sorry about that.
But,
yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, Sean, thanks for joining us. Bye. Do you want to do the honors and run the outro, Sean?
Yeah. Hold on. There, Brad. Let's do which outro? We only have one outro, do we not?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so.
Bye.
See you, folks.